What's up everybody, Renfail here, and today I want to talk to you about my balanced Druid Boomkin spec and the rotation that I use, as well as the talents that I've chosen. This is at the request of people because I hadn't made a guide for this character yet, even though I've sort of transferred this over to be my main. And I was like, you're right, I haven't done a guide, so we're going to dive into it today. Now, to get to where I am, I have not used anybody else's recommendations or anybody else's builds or anything like this. I just looked at the things that I thought looked cool and went with that. One of the things that I love about the talent tree in World of Warcraft is how much flexibility there is to build the build that you want without necessarily adhering to some meta guide that other people have. So bear in mind that everything you see here and the way I play my character is unique to me. It might not be, you know, the best setup for some people, but I don't care because I don't play mythical, so I'm not worried about the sweaty factor. I'm just here for fun, and I love my moonkin balanced druid, the Boomkin. So we're gonna dive in. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams, usually around noon, but they can happen at any point in time. You can also find me on Discord. There's a Patreon if you want to get into the stuff I do as a sci-fi and fantasy author. You can get my latest fantasy novel. Links are down below. Without further ado, let's just dive in. So, I am spec'd primarily as damage. For me, it's all about doing damage and AoEs and being able to do as much damage to as many targets as possible. So I've taken things that boost my abilities. For example, like my Sunfire, I have an additional ability that spreads it to enemies within 8 yards, as opposed to, you know, less than that. And I have taken a handful of points into cat form, mostly because feline swiftness is nice because you get that 15% bonus for movement. So in terms of getting around, especially stealthed, that made more sense to me than going into some bear points or anything like that. So I have taken healing just to go down the tree. I didn't necessarily need any of these abilities, but if you're gonna go for things like Nurturing Instinct, you can get there from Moonkin form, but Wild Growth leads to Natural Recovery, which is nice to get an additional 4 points of healing, but you're also going to get, as you go down into these things, which eventually lead down to Lycara's Teachings, which gives you 6% of a stat while in each form. It's very, very nice. And you just get some nice Heart of the Wild things that can give you additional bonuses while you're in the Moonkin form. So this is what I've taken down the Druid tree. Sunfire, Star Surge, Moonkin form obviously, and Improved Sunshine, because this does the AoE aspect of Sunshine, which is really, really nice. Now over here in Balance, this is where I like the way I've gone. So Solar Beam for those interrupts, Twin Moons. You guys could just take a screenshot of this and look through it at your leisure. But Fright of the Fae is pretty awesome. But I love the fact that Denizen of the Dream, what this does is my Moonfire and Sunfire have a chance to spawn fairy dragons, and you can get more than one, so it's pretty cool to see those go off in longer fights because you end up having a little army of denizens, which is pretty cool. The most important thing that I have in the balance line, in my opinion, is Wild Mushroom. This is a super cool AoE. It grows a magical mushroom at the target enemy's location. After 1 second, it detonates, doing AoE damage. Over 10 seconds, affected targets are slowed by 50%, 45-yard range, generates up to 20 astral power based on target's hit, and it does a max of 3 charges, and then it has to recharge over those 30 seconds. So this is really cool when you have AoEs, because you can just lob one of these in the middle of it and watch it go off. And on top of the other things that I have for AoEs, which we're going to talk about the rotation here in a minute, it works very, very well. Where's the one I'm looking for here? There's an ability here, I don't remember where it's at, and I'm looking for it really quick. If I don't find it, we'll move on. Stellar Flares, Soul of the Forest. There's one of these I have which adds additional, and I don't remember which one it is, but I also have Twin Moons, which gives me Moonfire to another target within 15 yards. So that's a nice thing to have just to boost it up. So as many AoEs as possible. Now I can do single target, but this character is mostly set up to just do AoEs because most of the encounters you're finding your AoEs. But because of the stacking you can do between Starfire and Wrath, you can get your Wrath up and proc that and just go single target on that while it's triggered, and then go back and drop a couple more of the Starfires to get your lunar phase up. So the rotation for me, generally speaking, on single attacks is Sunfire followed by Moonfire on single targets. It's Sunfire, Moonfire, and then I'll hit them with Stellar Flare, which burns target for some damage, then does an additional dot. Those are the three I stack immediately. If I have power, I will then follow that up with a Star Surge, but if I don't have that, I will start working on Starfire. I'll just cast a couple of Starfires. They usually die pretty quick, single targets. Now, if it's an AoE, same thing. I'll start with Sunfire because it gets enemies within 8 yards. I'll start up with another Moonfire, which can hit another target there to get those going. Then I'll drop a Mushroom in the middle of that, followed up by a Starfall. And then from there, I'll start going into Starfires just to burn the AoEs down. Now, if it's lots of mobs and we're trying to burn them down as quickly as possible, I will hit Warrior of Elune. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand, which makes my next 3 Starfires instant cast and generates an additional 40% of astral power. Now I have an ability right now that keeps me at 50% astral power at all times. So when I know that it's going to be a ton of mobs, we do Sunfire followed by Moonfire, and then we'll do Wild Mushroom. Then we hit Starfall, and then we go into the Warrior of Elune and bam, 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 hit the 3 Starfires immediately. That builds our power back up to drop at least 1, if not 2 more Starfalls. And from there, you can either drop another Mushroom, or you can just go into general Starfires over and over and over until you trigger Wrath. And if you've only got 1 or 2 targets left, you can then go into Wrath form and start single targeting things down. It's a very, very, very simple rotation. But the way I also have it set up is so that on the fly, as needed, in the middle of combat, what I will often do is, as soon as I'm done with the rotation, if we're like on a raid or in a dungeon, I will just go ahead and drop a Wild Growth, and then I'm immediately back into Moonkin form, just like that. So I can do a little AoE heal to help top up whatever, to help our main healer out, and then I'm back into Moonkin form, and we're ready to go from there. Now, the way I have this set up is I can immediately go into my Wolf Stance and then Stealth. Once I'm here, I have that 15% movement rate, and I'm able to stealth around and run. It's incredibly useful, and then as soon as I'm ready to cast, I can just run up, and boom, I'm back, you know, and we're good to go. It's a beautiful build. It's a lot of fun. I was happy once I started playing this because I'd never played a Druid in this game. Previously, the last time I played a Druid, it was in EverQuest 2, and I was a healer in that game. And I liked it a lot. I was the healer for 2 years and raided with that character. But I haven't done a healer since then. And I have this character secondarily spec'd as a restoration healer. So stay tuned, because I will have a restoration build and rotation video up soon if you'd like to see that. And anyway, that's it for my build and my rotation. Hopefully you found this useful for those of you who are looking for more information. If you liked what you saw here today and you haven't already done so, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams between here and Twitch. Don't forget to check out the Discord, my Patreon for all the stuff I do as an author, and of course my latest book. Links are down there. Come join us on Moonguard. We raid Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central. See you next time, everybody. Stay safe. Happy gaming.